The president of Ukraine has accused Russia of carrying out genocide on their soil. A Russian aircraft bombed a children's hospital, burying patients in the rubble, despite a ceasefire deal in Mariupol. Volodymyr Zelensky has repeated his call for the West to tighten sanctions on Russia, calling Russian attacks war crimes and genocide.
The occupiers are doing to Mariupol is beyond atrocities. Europeans, Ukrainians, Mariupol. Today we must be united in condemning this war crime of Russia, which reflects all the evil that the occupiers have brought to our land. An aerial bomb on a maternity hospital is the conclusive evidence that what is happening is a genocide of Ukrainians.
Well, these are the latest satellite images of the southern Ukrainian city of Mariupol. It shows the extensive damage to the civilian infrastructure in and around the besieged city. Residential homes, high-rise apartment buildings, grocery stores and shopping centres have been destroyed, including the Port City shopping mall in the west of the city. The imagery was collected before a reported bombing and shelling of a children's hospital in the city. Well, our correspondent Anas Malik is in Kyiv right now, bringing us all the latest updates by the hour. Let's go across to Kyiv now. Anas, how have the last few hours been on the ground there?
Well, the last few hours, Mackin, have been very tensed. I'm at the railway station and people are using this opportunity to basically get out of the city. Now, this is the railway station right behind me, if you can see, and you can probably see the amount of people that are there at the main platform. These are evacuation buses that are being used to evacuate people from elsewhere or nearby in the city, getting them to Kyiv and then onwards to safety. I tried going to Bucha a short while back and it was to no luck. We escaped from being shelled literally meters ahead, by just meters. We were on the way to Bucha, just outside Kyiv, when there was shelling being done. It is unclear from which side it was being done, but given that we were on the Ukrainian side and very near to the Ukrainian forces, so it is understood, or it is presumed, that it was being carried out by the Russian forces. Now, there are hundreds and hundreds of people, you can see behind me, families who are leaving or trying to flee to safety through the railway station to elsewhere in the country, mostly towards Lviv, to the western part of the country, and then onwards to the European side. Mackin?
Anas, how regular are those trains leaving Kyiv? Because obviously there are still thousands of people trying to get onto those. Are they still managing to get an escape route safely?
Well, on paper, there are about 9 trains that are to leave on daily basis from Kyiv to elsewhere in the country, basically towards Lviv in the western town or the western city of Lviv. But practically, having been here for a couple of days, there are only 2 trains that are heading out of the city. One is at local time 2 p.m. and the other is at 3 p.m. local time. Now, both the trains have been made free of cost. Anybody who intends on leaving the city of Kyiv can travel without a ticket. They do not have to pay for a ticket. That's what the railway authorities have done, and that is the reason we're seeing this mass exodus taking place. The city of Kyiv is empty by about 90%. Most of the people who you'd see out on the roads are either the army personnel or press or the volunteers. The citizens who have chosen to stay back are mostly those who are going to the supermarket in order to stock up their everyday items so that they can live off in case of an incursion or in case if the supplies are cut off. Now, it is pertinent to mention that the city of Kyiv is being fed off through these supplies that are coming in from the west. So these trains, when they take passengers from Kyiv to Lviv, on the way back, when they return mostly empty, I took one of these trains into Kyiv. They're mostly empty and they're full of items that are there. Back in.
And obviously, there's been repeated calls by Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky to close the skies above Ukraine to try to prevent this shelling. There was that bombardment of the maternity hospital that shocked the world. How is President Zelensky reacting to that? What's his latest calls?
Well, President Zelensky has called in as an act of atrocity. It is beyond atrocity, as what he has put up in his Telegram video, as it has been specified. Now, we've seen after that, we've seen digital signboards going up in the city of Kyiv which say NATO close the skies now, and the Ukrainians are not requesting this, they're begging for it. So you'd see these digital signboards along the roads of Kyiv, quite a lot, quite a number. There is a general grimness in the air, this tension that can be felt. As I said, I was just about an hour back, while I was on the way towards Bucha from the city of Kyiv, just in the outskirts of Kyiv, we escaped being shelled. That was presumed from the Russian side. So that explains the magnitude of the situation, how bad or worrisome the situation is, because you don't know when or where can the next shell land. Makin?
Anas, well, do take care when you're out there on the ground. Anas Malik in Kyiv, thank you.